Hey everybody, it's Al with BobCAD. So today I wanted to talk about multiple machine setup locations when you're dealing with a part that doesn't fit on your table or is bigger than what your table cutting envelope is. So in this case, I got a 40 by 20 here, standard bed travel machine size. It really doesn't matter. Because the problem can happen on any machine that you're working on. So this is my table working area, and this here is my part. So you can clearly see that my part does not fit on my table. Okay, so what I'm going to end up doing is fixturing the part and cutting as much as I can, and then I'm going to refixture the part, and then I'm going to cut in another location. Okay, so that's how I'm going to handle this. So let's look at how we can do that. So I'm going to create a new job, and I'll run the stock wizard. Okay, and I'm going to set up my stock size, which is fine. You could adjust the thickness or whatever the case might be. I'm just going to use the minimum maximum of this part, and then I'm going to set my initial zero. My initial zero is going to be this corner here, so I'm going to click on origin, and I'm going to grab this location. All right, so now I'm set up to start programming, and I can start programming the job. I have my zero set up, and maybe I want to drill some of these holes. Okay, so let's go to some of these layers here. Here I got my holes. Okay, so let's say I want to drill some of these holes. So I'm going to do drill hole, and then I'm going to select a group of holes here. That looks great. Go ahead, define the process, the tools you're going to use, etc. All right, we're going to go ahead and compute this. Now I have my tool path for that routine. There's some pocketing that I need to do in here. So we're going to load up some pockets. We'll do these pockets first. Okay, so one of the things, again, in BobCAD, you can either enter the depth or you can pick the depth. In this case, I'm just going to grab my part model. I don't remember what the depth was for that, so I'm going to just grab this edge here, and it will pick it up for me. I'm going to do a pocketing cycle. Go through and define your tool and your settings. Okay, boom. All right, so we got our pocketing done. There's another pocketing cycle, so I'm just going to copy, and I'm going to paste this cycle. Now I did happen to draw this part within BobCAD. This could be imported geometry as well. That's fine. Let me turn this one off, and let me grab some new geometry so I have some other pockets that I want to work with. So I'll grab them, and then I want to adjust the depth. This one is 1/4 inch. All right, so we have all these cutting strategies set up on our part. Okay, we have our zero setup location, and then we have these cutting strategies. So this is going to be the first group of routines that we're going to cut. Let me go ahead and run this through a simulation just so we can see what's going on. And again, so we have our part. It's bigger than our table. We've set up a machine setup location. We program some parts. The next, or program some features. The next thing that we're going to want to look at doing is, so we're spot drilling here, is creating a new location. Okay, so we're going to create a new location and, continue programming the part. All right, so we can speed this up here a little bit. So we do some pocketing, and there we go. Okay, so this is the first part of it. Now, before we move on, let me I'm just going to change the color of my part to a different color. Let's go with something like that, and then let's look at something. So I have all these holes here. And one of the things that I want to do is right now, some of these holes are through holes. Let's say they're all through holes, but some of these holes I want to make blind holes. So let's say these holes here I want to make blind holes. So I've already programmed my drilling cycle. So how do I adjust my drilling cycle? Okay, so how do I remove those or make those blind holes? And it's really actually easy to do. Let me unblank this, our toolpath feature here. So here's my feature. This feature is associated to geometry, which are all the hole locations, and then it contains operations, which is my center drill and drill. Okay, so what I'm going to do, if I want to, not if I want to make these holes blind holes, okay, I need to remove them from this feature. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go to a reselect, and from this reselect, I'm going to get rid of some holes here. Actually, I want to keep that one and keep that one. All right. So I've removed some holes from my operation. Let's see, I want to get rid of this one too. So I've left these ones open. Those are going to be the blind holes. So I'll go ahead and click OK, and then I'm going to recompute my toolpath. And now you can see those holes are no longer part of the toolpath. Okay, they're removed. Okay, so they're removed from it. So now what I want to do is I'm going to take this feature here, I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste this feature. So I have my same tools and everything. All right, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and I'm going to grab these holes. I'm going to grab that one, and this one. Okay, while I have it selected, I'm just going to change the color. Okay, so I'm going to change the color so this way when I go to reselect, I know which ones they are. I'm just going to pick by color. It just makes it a little bit easier with this workflow. All right. Now in here, I'm going to go in and I'm going to edit my feature. Now you do have through hole, blind hole. If it's set to a through hole, it will punch through a certain amount. If it's set to a blind hole, it won't add a punch through. But what I'm going to do is just go to my parameters and I'm going to override my depth here. Okay, so you got effective depth and overall depth. So my overall depth, I'm going to this is the number that would be posted. So I'm going to make this 350. And I'll go ahead and compute. So now I have my two features here, and I removed one of the hole locations and I changed it from a through hole to a blind hole. So I just wanted to cover a little bit of that. Now, all right, so we're in our first setup. Now, the next thing that we want to do is, we got to index the part. We got to move it down. We got to have our work holding. So we need to create another setup location. So what I'm going to do here, let me unblank this routine. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make this hole my next work offset. So I'm going to take the whole part, I'm going to slide it down on my table, and then I'm going to indicate this hole here, and that's going to be my next zero position. So I'm going to add a new setup. I'm going to edit its location, so I'll go to origin, and I'm going to pick the center of this hole, and then I'll choose OK. All right, so now I have one setup on this corner, and then I have another setup on this corner. And again, I'm going to end up sliding the whole part down and refixturing. Okay, so now that I'm in this setup, let me pull my part back up. I'm going to go ahead and do the next group of holes that I want to machine. So this one, I already have this feature programmed for these holes, so I'm going to copy that feature, and then I'm going to paste this feature. Then I'll come in and reselect my geometry. So I'll grab those holes, these holes, and these holes here. So those are all the holes that I want to work with. And then I'll go ahead and compute this. All right, so now I get my next group. I'm going to continue this process down the line. Okay, so now I'm going to, move the part down further, and I'll create another setup location. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to do insert setup. I'm going to pick a location, and you can repeat this as many times as you need to give you enough room to cut parts that could be quite a bit larger than what your machine travel is. So I'm going to copy. I'll go ahead and paste. I'll reselect. So I have all my holes here. I'll go ahead and compute that. In this case, I have some pocketing as well, so I can copy the first group of pockets, this one here. So I'm going to copy, and then I will paste that into the tree. I'll go ahead and reselect, so I'm going to grab all this stuff here. And then I'll compute that. I have another one here, so I'm going to copy this one. I'll paste it in. And then I'll select my next group of geometry. Let me get rid of that hole. All right. And then we'll go ahead and compute this. All right, so now at this time we have 3 different setup locations. Okay. And we have our different programming. Now, in this particular part, maybe I'm using the same work offset. So this is 54, and then I reset it, and this is 54, and then I reset it, and this is 54. Okay. It could be on, you could make them different work offsets. I mean, that's just all based on your workflow and how you want to handle it. But for this particular job, again, the part is bigger than our cutting envelope. And we're going to use multiple setup locations, and we just adjust as we go. And we can program really complicated parts very quickly. It looks like my depth is off over here. I'm not sure why. Let me go ahead and check that. Let's edit this, pick bottom. Let's go ahead and grab that, recompute. This one here, this is off as well, so we'll edit that. Go ahead, pick bottom. We'll grab this over here and recompute. Okay, so we updated our depths for those features. So hopefully you guys found this information useful. Again, multiple setups, shift the part along the way, copy and paste your features. If you guys have any questions, comments, or feedback, please reply back to the Facebook, the YouTube, or whatever thread this video may be posted in. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much, guys.